Omoyele Sowore has never been a man who keeps quiet when the truth must be spoken. He has always stood boldly to say things that many people are afraid to say. When he spoke about Nnamdi Kanu's case, he did not hide his feelings. He went straight to the point and called out the leaders of the Southeast. He said too many of them have been silent for too long, and their silence is beginning to look like betrayal. Sowore said that Nnamdi Kanu's continued detention is not only about one man. It is about the rights of a whole people. It is about justice, fairness, and freedom in Nigeria. He explained that if the leaders of the Southeast cannot come together to stand for Kanu, then what kind of leadership are they really giving to their people? He said leaders are supposed to protect their people, not abandon them when they are in pain. He pointed out that many of these leaders, whether governors, senators, or elders, speak softly in private. In their homes and offices, they admit that Kanu's detention is wrong. But in public, they remain quiet. Some even avoid the topic completely, as if silence will make the problem disappear. Sowore said that this type of leadership is weak and shameful. He challenged them to stop pretending, to stop acting as though they do not know what is happening, and to stop hiding while their people suffer. Sowore said clearly that he is ready to stand with the people at all times. He said he is not from the Southeast, but he knows what it means to fight for freedom. He reminded everyone that injustice in one place is a threat to justice everywhere. That is why he feels strongly about Kanu's case. He said that the Southeast leaders should be the first to shout about this, but instead, it is activists and ordinary citizens who are taking the risk and standing up. He said this is not right. According to him, leaders cannot enjoy the comfort of their offices and still claim to represent their people if they refuse to fight for the very things their people cry about every day. He told them that leadership is not about big titles or expensive cars. Leadership is about courage, responsibility, and sacrifice. And if they cannot make sacrifices to stand with their people now, then history will judge them harshly. Sowore spoke about how people in the Southeast feel abandoned. He said mothers, fathers, and youths are all watching, waiting to see when their leaders will have the courage to act. He said the silence of these leaders has made the people lose trust. Many no longer believe that their leaders are willing to protect them. Sowore said that is a dangerous thing because when people no longer trust their leaders, the bond between the people and their government is broken. He called on the Southeast leaders to join the struggle openly. He told them to come to Abuja and stand with the protesters who are demanding Kanu's release. He said it is not enough to whisper behind closed doors. They must take a public stand. They must be seen with their people. They must raise their voices together and tell the government that it is wrong to keep Kanu in detention. Sowore made it clear that he is not afraid of what may come with speaking the truth. He said leaders who are afraid to lose their positions or their connections are not real leaders. A real leader, he said, is willing to lose comfort in order to stand on the side of justice. He said this is the test that the Southeast leaders are facing today. Either they will be remembered as cowards who kept quiet, or they will be remembered as men and women who stood for what was right when it mattered most. He also said that silence will not save them. He explained that no matter how hard they try to avoid the issue, history will still record their actions. He said one day, the truth about who stood up and who remained silent will be written down for all to see. And when that time comes, nobody will be able to change the record. That is why, according to Sowore, this is the right time for the leaders to step forward. Sowore's words were not just a call but a challenge. He challenged them to prove that they are worthy of being called leaders. He challenged them to remember the people who voted for them and trusted them. He challenged them to think about their children and grandchildren, who will one day ask, "What did you do when injustice was being carried out before your eyes?" He said the answer to that question will either bring pride or shame. For Sowore, this is more than politics. It is about conscience. It is about truth. It is about standing firm when it is easier to remain silent. And because of that, his message to the Southeast leaders was direct and simple: stop hiding, stop keeping quiet, and stop pretending. If you truly care about your people, then come out and stand for them. Join us in Abuja. Let the government know that the Southeast has leaders who will not allow injustice to continue. Let the world see that you are not cowards but true representatives of your people. After Sowore called out the Southeast leaders, he moved to the next step. He said that words alone are not enough. He said the people must take action, because action is what makes power listen. According to him, the time for waiting has passed. The case of Nnamdi Kanu has gone on for too long, and the government is pretending not to hear the cries of the people. Sowore said that silence from the people will only make the government more stubborn, but if the people rise and protest peacefully, the leaders in power will have no choice but to listen. Sowore declared that there will be a mass protest in Abuja. He invited everyone who believes in justice to come out boldly. He said this protest is not just for Nnamdi Kanu as a person, but for every Nigerian who believes in fairness and freedom. He told the people that if they allow Kanu's case to continue like this, then tomorrow it could be anybody else. He explained that injustice grows stronger when people keep quiet, but when people stand up, injustice becomes weak. He spoke about the strength of the people. Sowore said the government has power, but real power lies with the people when they are united. He said when people come out in large numbers, no government can ignore them. He told the people to be peaceful but firm. He said a peaceful protest sends a louder message than violence, because the whole world will see the truth clearly. Sowore encouraged the youths. He told them that their voices matter more than they think. He said young people should not believe the lie that they are powerless. He said young people are the true strength of Nigeria, and if they come out in thousands to demand freedom for Kanu, the world will notice. He urged the youths not to let fear hold them back. Fear, he said, is what the government wants to use to keep them quiet, but courage will defeat fear every time. He also called on women and mothers. He reminded them that many mothers cry every day because of what is happening in the country. He said their tears should not be hidden in silence. Instead, they should come to Abuja and join their voices with others. Sowore said women have always played a strong role in movements for justice around the world, and this fight should not be different. He told them that when mothers speak, leaders often pay attention because the pain of a mother cannot be ignored. Sowore did not leave out the elders. He said elders have a duty to guide the young. He reminded them that silence in old age is not wisdom, but weakness. He said real wisdom is when an elder uses his or her voice to defend truth, so that the younger generation can learn from it. He told them to stop hiding behind the excuse of age. Instead, they should stand proudly and speak so that the world will see that the fight for Kanu's release is not just about the young but about everyone. He made it clear that the protest in Abuja will not be for one tribe or one region. He said this is a Nigerian issue. According to him, injustice in the southeast should concern people in the north, the west, and the south as well. He said if one part of the country is treated unfairly, then no part of the country is safe. He called on Nigerians from every region to come out. He told them not to see this as an Igbo issue but as a justice issue. Justice, he said, has no tribe, and truth has no language. Sowore warned against those who want to scare the people. He said the government may try to use threats, arrests, or intimidation to stop the protest, but he told the people not to be afraid. He said every great change in history came because people were willing to stand even when the risk was high. He reminded them that freedom is never given freely by those in power, it is demanded by the people. He said if they sit at home, nothing will change, but if they come out together, something must shift. He also spoke about the long delay in Kanu's case. He said justice delayed is justice denied. According to him, the government has been playing games with the courts and using endless excuses to keep Kanu locked up. Sowore said this is not justice, it is oppression. He said no democracy can survive when people are jailed for speaking their minds or for asking for fairness. He told the people that protesting is their right, and they must use that right now before it is too late. Sowore gave his promise that he will stand with the people. He said he will not call for the protest and then hide away. He said he will be in Abuja himself, shoulder to shoulder with everyone who comes out. He said he has faced arrests before, but that will not stop him. He told the people that if he, as one man, can face police and prison for the truth, then surely millions of people together can face any challenge and win. His final message was full of strength. He said, "This is the time. Abuja is the place. We must come together as one voice, one body, and one people. We must show them that Nigeria belongs to us, not to a few in power. We must show them that Nnamdi Kanu must be released now, not tomorrow. And we must do it peacefully, with courage, and without fear." When Sowore made his strong call for justice, his words did not end with the ordinary people alone. His message began to spread, and soon it reached some of the most powerful voices in Nigerian politics. One of those voices was Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president of Nigeria. Atiku listened to what Sowore said, and he agreed with him openly. He declared that Sowore was right to demand freedom for Nnamdi Kanu. He said this case has gone on for too long, and it is a stain on Nigeria's democracy. Atiku spoke in a calm but firm tone. He said that Nigeria cannot claim to be a true democracy if people are locked up without fair treatment. He explained that democracy is not just about elections, campaigns, or political parties. Democracy is about freedom, justice, and equality. And when these things are denied, the country suffers. According to him, detaining Nnamdi Kanu for so long without resolving his case is not only unfair but also dangerous for peace in the nation. He praised Sowore for being bold. He said it takes courage to stand up when many others are keeping quiet. He said Sowore has shown that real leadership is not about titles but about action. He admitted that Sowore has been consistent in speaking for justice, not only for Kanu but also for other Nigerians who face oppression. Atiku said this is the kind of courage Nigeria needs. Atiku then turned his attention to the Southeast leaders. He said Sowore is right to call them out because they cannot afford to be silent. He said silence from leaders is like support for oppression. He told them that their people are watching, and history will remember their choices. He said they cannot fold their arms while their people are crying and expect respect from the next generation. Atiku urged them to join the campaign for Kanu's release and show that they are truly standing with their people. Atiku also spoke about peace in Nigeria. He said peace cannot be forced. Peace must be built on justice. He said holding Nnamdi Kanu in detention has created more anger and frustration, especially among young people in the southeast. He warned that ignoring their cries will only make the country more unstable. He explained that releasing Kanu is not just about one man. It is about healing divisions and proving that Nigeria belongs to everyone. He stressed that democracy works only when governments listen to the people. He said if the government continues to ignore the voices calling for justice, it weakens democracy itself. According to Atiku, the protests that Sowore called for are part of democracy, because citizens have the right to express themselves. He said protests, when peaceful, are a sign of a living democracy, not a threat. He made it clear that silencing protesters or arresting them will only show the world that Nigeria is moving away from democratic values. Atiku went further to say that injustice against one group is injustice against all. He said Nigerians must stop thinking of justice in tribal terms. He said this is not an Igbo problem but a Nigerian problem. He reminded everyone that today it may be Nnamdi Kanu, but tomorrow it could be someone else from another region. He said the fight for Kanu's release should unite Nigerians, not divide them. He encouraged the people not to give up. He said change does not come overnight, but it comes when people remain strong and consistent. He praised Sowore again for pushing the movement forward, and he said he stands with him in this campaign. Atiku's support gave more weight to the cause, because his voice reaches far across Nigeria. His words showed that the call for justice is no longer just from activists but also from respected political leaders. Atiku also reminded the government that listening to the people is not a sign of weakness but of wisdom. He said leaders must know when to let go of pride and do the right thing. He explained that keeping Kanu locked up has not solved any problem but has created new ones. He urged the government to take the brave step of releasing him and beginning a real dialogue with the people. He made it clear that justice for Kanu will not only calm tensions but also show the world that Nigeria is serious about human rights. He said every nation is judged by how it treats its citizens, especially those who oppose the government. If Nigeria treats its own people with fairness, then the world will respect Nigeria more. But if Nigeria continues to act harshly against its citizens, then the world will see the country as unjust. Atiku's voice brought hope to many. For the people, it showed that Sowore is not standing alone. It showed that leaders in high positions also see the truth and are willing to support the call for freedom. With Sowore's bold activism and Atiku's strong support, the demand for Kanu's release became louder and harder to ignore. It became clear that this is no longer just a small campaign but a national demand. In his final words, Atiku said that history is always watching. He said leaders must decide where they want to stand. Do they want to be remembered as defenders of justice or as supporters of oppression? He said the answer is in their actions today. And with that, he gave his full backing to Sowore's campaign for Nnamdi Kanu's release, sending a clear signal that the fight for justice has entered a new and stronger stage.